Hello everyone, welcome to the game update 7.7 Star Wars The Old Republic. So, and that's a good thing for all of you because this is going to take well over an hour. There is an active Twitch drop campaign right now. So if you watch 1 hour of live SWTOR content on Twitch, you can obtain the Droman Cost poster decoration. The campaign will remain active until May 22nd. And as per usual, we have a Twitch drop for a live stream.
Yep, this is for today.
And then we also have a Twitch drop to go live when 7.7.
When the game update goes live. Yeah, which is too good.
Yeah, look at that. The Embarn Holoran core mount.
I don't know what we're doing.
Beautiful.
I don't understand.
Yeah, some players have asked if it counts when you watch a VOD, and it does not. You have to make sure that you are watching live content.
We should have done 7.7 hours.
Mini pet, look at that little cutie. Make sure that you go to swtor.com/redeem-code, and this reward will be obtainable until May 30th. So make sure you get on that if you have not received it yet.
Yep.
But wait, there's more. If you are a subscriber, subscribers with an active subscription as of May 23rd will receive the Naboo Type C speeder mount, which that color palette is based off of the key art from Star Wars Celebration. But we're still celebrating May 4th. If you have not yet logged into the game, you can get this really cute B25 SAL mini pets. We also do have a couple of sales that are happening right now. There is a 50% off collection unlock sale. There's all of the inspired by item.
So if you were at the beginning of the stream not too long ago, you saw the trailer that we showed at Celebration.
So quick context setup just before I hand it off to Ashley, just to give you just a little bit of information on Galactic Threads. Just as a reminder for those of you that weren't around, at least when we talked about this during the 7.6 live stream. So Galactic Threads, when we refer to that, what we're referring to is that's the story update that we were working on in the 7.6 timeframe. The reason that we haven't released it again is just that we're missing a couple of critical pieces that we need in order to be able to release it. So when we're referring to Galactic Threads, that's what we're talking about. We still don't have those pieces, which is why we haven't released it. But as soon as we do, we will. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about Galactic Threads, is kind of the 7.6 storyline.
Yes, and we're recapping a little bit of it here, just as a reminder of what we're doing. We're not going to give, again, too many spoilers because you haven't played it yet. But just kind of a reminder of where we're going with the story. So in Galactic Threads, we are pursuing Malgus and Shae Vizsla after she broke him out of prison. Spoilers. And then we also have Darth Nose Holocron, and we're exploring what's up with that, why so many people want it, what's on it. Looking at the threat of the hidden chain and seeing where they're going next in the galaxy and what kind of threat they pose. And ultimately, what is Malgus's plans for the galaxy now that he is loose? So that is basically everything we've covered in Galactic Threads. But because we wanted to show, we're still working on this, and we're adding more details to it, I wanted to give you a little bit more of a teaser that doesn't give too much away, but it does include something that you may have spotted in the Malgus Celebration trailer. So check it out.
A Rakatan mine trap. Whoever is inside this prison will wish to escape, and they will try to claim your body to do it. Your connection to the Force will only do so much. I will do what I can to protect you.
So just a little bit more of a teaser of what we get to do. We get to get some quality time with Lana. We get to investigate Rakatan mine traps, which we've seen before in SWTOR. And so who do you think's in there?
I don't know. Chains.
Yeah.
Malgus is like, is there chains in there? Because I'm going to get in there.
Dr. Chains, yeah.
He's like, is there chains in there? Because I'm going to get in there.
Yeah, and break them.
And I'm going to break them.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going to do. Yep.
So going off of Galactic Threads, our next story chapter is Master's Enigma, which is what we're currently working on now. Immediately following the events of Galactic Threads, it is investigating more of Darth Nul's holocron. Again, I'm going to stay very light because I don't want to give you any spoilers because you want the build-up. But we're investigating the holocron and really getting down into what is happening with this holocron, why it's important. In addition, we are also centering around a mysterious figure that some of you might have spotted also in the trailer.
Yeah.
And more of that to come, but literally chomping at the bit to let y'all know what's going on here, because this is really a turning point in the story. Things are coming to a head. A lot of these different threads and factions are starting to come towards the same conclusion.
Yep. Yeah, and worth highlighting, right? Like, not only we've talked about unraveling what Malgus's plan are, a deeper investigation into Null's holocron, and it's worth pointing out that if you look at both what was in the CG trailer of Legacy of the Sith, it's Malgus broke in there to get a holocron, and certainly if this is the turning point, maybe that's to reveal some of what this is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Now that he's not in prison, he might actually get to see those plans come to fruition.
Yep. Yeah. And so I know the question that's on everyone's mind, I can't see chat at the moment, but I'm sure this is the question, is when do I get to play these things? And so just to reiterate a couple of kind of bouncing off of what I said on the last slide. So again, Galactic Threads is intended as kind of the 7-6 storyline. You obviously haven't gotten to play that yet. Masters of Enigma is intended as the 7-7 storyline. Again, we're missing some of the pieces that we need in order to be able to release those to you. We're just as eager for you to play that as you are. As soon as we have those pieces, we will come back to you and let you know as soon as we can what our release schedule will be. We don't have that information currently, but as soon as we do, we will let you know, okay? So just hold tight. We'll get that information to you as soon as we can.
Appreciate your patience.
So we do appreciate your patience, though.
A very cool story-related
Yep.
quality of life improvement, the
Yep.
Eras window.
That's right. So let's talk about what it is. Yeah.
So the Eras window is basically a way for you to see all of our story content in the game at a high level, so that you understand where you are in the journey, as well as where you've been and where you can go next.
Yep.
It's a very chronological order of things, and it includes summaries and also links to your gameplay.
Yep. And so just a quick note about what exactly the Eras. So if Ashley talks about kind of what it is, let me talk a little bit about why we're doing it, because this is going to be a little bit of a through line that you're going to hear me talk about a lot kind of through today's stream. When you think about the timing of 7.7 and kind of where we are now, Star Wars Celebration, we've just come off of May the 4th. Something that we see a lot in Star Wars The Old Republic is we see a lot of new players coming into the game. We see a lot of players coming back into the game, whether that's players that they haven't played in a long time. A lot of you watching this stream are a lot of active players, but you might have friends that have come back and joined back into the game. And so the Eras window can really help kind of ground you back into where you were in that story journey.
The game is broken into what we're calling eras.
Yep.
And the eras are a through line of story that has sort of a beginning and end, has concurrent characters within these eras. They are mostly bound by expansions, but not always.
Yep.
But the idea is that you can see encapsulated in the summaries each basically large era of the game.
Yeah.
And you can kind of figure out where you were and what you've completed and what you haven't completed.
Yep. This is meant as an overview of where you are holistically inside of the story. It's not meant to be that granular and specific. It's just meant to give you a high level of where you are within the holistic SWTOR narrative to get you back into the gameplay. As you can see here, this is what the mission log looks like right now. And again, one of the things that we really wanted to focus on is kind of improving that experience of how a player can go from the game of, I want to get back into the gameplay as fast as possible. And especially, again, for that player that's new into the game or coming back in, we reduced purple usage so that it mainly focused on crit path. Second thing, there's a bit of shuffling around and reorientation of where things fall within the mission log UI itself, mostly just for easier navigation, so that important information is easier to find and easier to navigate through.
Overall, just a nice flow to get you back on track, and so you can pick things up where you left off.
Yeah, so when we released Relentless Replication in Story and Veteran mode, players got a taste of the Premium Prototype and Artifact tier of Augments. We're now going to be releasing the Legendary tier of Augments at item rating 318 in the various stat distributions you see now. You'll get these Augment schematics dropped from XR53 Lair Boss on Master Mode. You're going to have a chance for the schematic to drop. It is a fully tradable schematic again, and it will have bad luck prevention after 3 kills. Yep, so the augments will be crafted by Armor Mech, Arms Tech, and Synth Weaving. You're going to use components that are crafted by Artifice, Biochem, and Cybertech, and using those materials dropped from Propagator Core XR53. We're giving you an opportunity to earn some of the corrupted bioprocessors. So when you complete your weekly mission, Go Berserk or Spoils of War, you'll have a reward choice between the Thursian Upgrade Cache if you just need gear, the WZ1 Accelerant if you're looking for currency to convert, or the corrupted bioprocessors in a small amount. Yep, so for veteran mode, we have increased the drop chance of the augment schematic, and we've increased the chance of the bioprocessor satchels and the crate of bioprocessing parts, just to make the inflow of those materials a little faster. So in line with what we've previously done for master modes, we took some inspiration from the boss to create a new mount for players to ride on.
Yeah, so this is the replication throne, which I think is basically just the top of it ripped off that you just get to ride on as your throne.
Yep. Yeah, PvP Season 8 is going to be themed Champions of the Wild. The armors are going to be in a sort of bestial theme, and it'll begin with the launch of 7.7, run for 16 weeks. Yeah, so here we're showing off the Bestial Champions armor set, one of the armors that you'll be able to get directly from the track. Yeah, so we'll have our usual variants, what we call our alternate color schemes, and then the upgraded or prestige versions. So there'll be the Bestial Champions armor set, Bestial Warrior, Armor Set of the Wild, and Armor Set of the Beast. Some of these will be available from the track, others will be available from the PvP season vendor. Right, the titles for this season will be the Legacy title Way of the Warrior, the character title Stalker of the Prey, and then we'll also have our usual collection of season-related rewards, such as the battle flags and our trophy decorations. We went a little further into the theming of the season, and we've released the Champion's Seat, the Throne of the Beast, and the Wild Warriors Respite decorations, replacing some of our previous season-related statues.
Right now, PvP seasons don't allow you to do cartel coin level purchases like Galactic seasons do. And so simply put, we're just adding that functionality into PvP seasons, which Galactic seasons have currently.
Yeah, and same as Galactic seasons, if you do purchase with cartel coins, you will only complete the season track. You will not gain any progress towards the meta achievements. You'll still have to join in queue for those. Yeah, so Nar Nightlife will start on July 8th, and it's going to run for 6 weeks, ending on August 19th. So the highlight reward for Nar this year is going to be the Supernova helmet. The helmet may look a little familiar to some players, but it has that special Nar charm to it.
Are the starter planets, the capital planets in Ilum, which is Tython, Korriban, Hutta, and Ord Mantell. The starter planets, Coruscant, Dromakhas, the capital worlds, and Ilum. So the main place you're going to find the largest amount of dynamic encounters is going to be the capital worlds. So Coruscant and Dromakhas is where you're going to see the largest amount of them. And Ilum, to the smaller degree. And then the starter worlds have quite a bit of dynamic encounters, but it's a smaller quantity. The only reason I point that out is just be aware that the starter worlds are just
Smaller in nature.
by measure, they're smaller and they're a bit denser because of the story content. And so,
Yeah, and what we've seen previously, like in that video, they're all combat based, but there is a variety of dynamic encounters. Like I know in previous ones, like in Hoth,
you go around and like you help promote a cantina band.
Yeah, that one's a
like
lot of fun.
there's that kind of stuff, right? And yeah, and so yeah, what was it? What are they?
Double sunburns.
Double sunburns.
Double sunburns.
Double sunburns. And that's because what you'll find is when you play a lot of the dynamic encounters around a lot of the planets, a lot of them will give you decos for rewards. And a lot of them will be inside of the area where you've played them, is where you might find them. We had the meta achievement for dynamic encounters on Hoth and Tatooine, which was earned by doing a number of dynamic encounters across the entire planet, and then you earned a mount, an exclusive mount to that planet. And so what we're doing is, and so hold tight for a few videos. First up, for the starter planets, there is a new exclusive mount to the starter planets with 4 different colorways. So basically 1 color for Hutta, 1 color for Ord Mantell. The capital planets, there is a unique one for Dromakhas, a unique one for Coruscant. They're similar but different, and a unique one for it. And so these are the mounts that you can see here. Again, these are for Dro, Coruscant, and Ilum.
Go, baby.
And look, all right?
You get another little baby that you can put
Cuteness-
on the new mount. That you're
Cuteness
gonna
is
paint.
subjective. Technically speaking, there's now dynamic encounters across 9 planets, right? We've now expanded it by adding this 7. And there's technically kind of more because the
Hidden chain invasion.
the hidden chain invasions actually happen across even more planets than that, like Nar Shaddaa, etc. And so dynamic encounters are just, they are everywhere now.
And they're a lot of fun.
And so then the next part of this is getting around. If you want to get around the galaxy to these dynamic encounters and to really just your game. And this kind of goes hand in hand with one of the things that I mentioned early when Ashley was here, is we want to continue to make improvements to how players interact with the game. The main change here is that we've obviously added an accordion menu to the left side of the screen. Fun fact, I spell accordion wrong every single time. And so there's 3 pieces. The legend is basically just we've nested what was kind of filter, magnifying glass, and some of those existing pieces. They're kind of now nested under the legend. Quick travel is effectively allowing you to think of when you would quick travel before and it would pop up your map and filter it. It kind of does that along with having a selectable list. Here is what the goal of the combat updates were. We want players to have a fantasy-fulfilling, fun, and viable experience for the things that we do for you by default inside of your discipline. Let me give you a problem. So Guardians and Juggernauts. So look back at like the Chlor Slug dynamic encounter we just showed you, right? Like you're fighting lots of non-elite, very simple, weak enemies. Sorry, Chlor Slug, I didn't mean to call you weak.
But they're grouped. But they're grouped together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're grouped, weak enemies. And what we discovered is that Guardians and Juggernauts, as an example, didn't have something they could spam early on in the game.
Until level 27.
Until level 27. All they had was Force Sweep or Smash, respectively. Well, so what we're doing is we're giving them one.
Taking away the 2 is
Right.
what we're doing.
Yeah, and so now we're giving them Cyclone Slash and Sweeping Slash at level 7, which is a spammable AoE that they'll have as early as level 7.
PTS will be opening up, and we're going to have like a long list that you all can see and provide your feedback on it as well. So
Yeah.
don't worry if you're, kind of stressing about just seeing the
Yeah.
one example.
Yeah.
We will provide more information for you.
That's a super good call out. Because the one thing that I really want to stress, and as Jackie said, there's a whole list of what this is. It'll be on PTS when we go there, which should be very soon, which we'll talk about at the end of the stream.
Yeah, so make sure that you keep an eye on the public test server forums.
Yeah. And obviously many of you are very experienced players of these classes, and so I'm sure you'll have opinions, which will be very valuable, so make sure to let us know what you think.
Yeah, when we open up PTS, it would be beneficial. I mean, we're going to have character transfer open as well, but it would be beneficial if you started a character from level 1 just to see what like those grants are like, what the default sets are like.
Yeah.
And, your own characters as well.
Those of you who aren't in guilds, don't have crazy sprinter, you can just stop paying attention for about 2 minutes. But I'm going to try to explain this very cleanly. Effectively, what it's going to do is it's going to take sprint plus your one single highest ability that is adding speed, the one single highest thing that is reducing speed, and put them all together. Nothing in here is added that includes mounts, right? So mounts are not included. Something like rocket boost that counts as a mount is not included. And none of this counts in combat. So PvPers don't sweat any of this stuff. None of this, but like once someone gets tagged and is in combat, movement speed here is not impacted. Effectively, we've made these combat values, or made these values out of combat additive, is what that means.
Lewis, the art director for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and welcome to the Old Republic Shopping Network,
That's right.
where we're going to feature some fabulous prizes.
We need a sweet ticker on the bottom. I don't know what it would display.
Numbers? I don't know.
We just made a number that don't mean anything. We just put numbers there.
This is your show. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what we're talking about
I don't
either.
even know I'm here.
Anyway, let's talk about what's coming to the cartel market and how things are going on the character modernization front. Because we have some
Oh, yeah,
pretty
that sounds
good
like
publishing
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh, look what's still available, though.
that is true.
So this is the Storm 1 edition bundle for the JTF offering, and this has a really fun mount. It's got a pet platform,
Yep.
which is apparently popular. It's got firing cannons, animated dashboard, a speed boost with VFX thrusters,
Yep. And sound effects.
and a fantastic sound package
Yeah.
that you just really got to hear.
Yeah. Usable level 1.
That's right.
Yep. And I feel like we have the whole house at this mount, which is awesome.
Almost the whole house. There's
Almost the whole house.
one thing I didn't do, but I'm not going to talk about
Fair enough.
it. Anyway, this comes with
Yep. Dies as well.
5 dies of primary and 5 dies of secondary.
Yep.
Chrome silver.
Yep. which is excellent. And then the nice thing about what's nice about the Master of the Fight bundle, which is available until June 17th. Oh, I did it! Yeah. Did you have a guess? I just say June 17th now. Just be like, that. I knew it was
I
that.
guessed June 17, obviously, because that was the
nailed
right
it,
answer.
yeah. The thing that's nice about the bundle is that, like, basically just on the coins and subtime alone, it's worth the value. And then you get also an amazing mount, usable at level 1, like awesome perks out of it, plus dies. Like, it's a really great dollar value regardless. And so,
It is. And it was a lot of fun to build because
Yeah.
it's been a fun one.
Yeah, it's great. So always love those bundles. But let's talk about the awesome stuff that's coming in 7.7. Some really, really awesome
Let's do that.
Andor-inspired stuff.
You know, Eric, if you're like me, and I know I am, I'm gonna love walking around in this
You are like you. I have always thought that about you.
Saw Guerrera inspired outfit. I think we just need to slow things down here a little bit.
We do. Let's slow it down a little bit.
Okay. Okay. That's
All right,
good. That's good.
That's it.
Saw Guerrera outfit. It's fantastic. Character team really knocked this one out of
They
the
really
park.
did,
I'm really looking forward to seeing what players do with this one.
Yeah, no, this one is so good.
Yeah.
I
You
absolutely
can start your own insurgency on
that
UM4.
you really could. This, I will say though, this truly might be one of my favorite armor sets your team's ever built.
It really is nice. This one has turned out super nice. This has very heavily player requested thigh-high boots.
Yep.
Which are dyeable.
Viable. No, don't like it. And here's the thing.
You know, you're not Fred.
We talked about. I know we.
So I don't know if you could pull that off.
I know, right? We also talked about this. I was going to make a request of you, but you already fulfilled that request.
What was that?
Is that I'm not a cape guy. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
like
right.
I don't like capes. Okay. So could I have this without a cape?
Yeah, see the little asterisk down there?
I didn't bring my glasses.
It says includes no cape version.
That's right. So players that buy this will get they will get this, and it will come with 2 chest pieces.
That's right.
I almost said a chestless, and that doesn't make any sense. A version with cape and version without cape.
That is right.
Yeah.
This will both include the caped version and the non-caped version for you to mix and match as you choose.
You've said cape 7 times.
Have I said it 7 times? Are you counting?
So we can move on.
We did it. All right. Next slide.
What about the cape on that line?
Oh, now we did it 8.
Oh, well,
Start the stream over.
Here's another player requested thing.
Yeah.
The Manaan mini sub was a taxi on Manaan that players rightfully noticed. We don't have a player mount version
for it,
of
right?
it. So here it is. It is slightly different in that the canopy is open. So if you drove this into the water, you would probably drown.
Yeah.
But
Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, which is coming back as we talked about earlier, and then
Very
just we're not going to read all of this because
there's nothing on the screen. Oh, now there is. Now there is. Okay.
which is just this enormous bundle of
There are
decorations.
literally tens of things in here.
There are a lot. There are definitely tens of things. We still didn't do a full count. We've made this joke twice already, and I still don't think we counted how many things are in here.
I don't want to count that.
I'm
many
not going to
things.
either. Yeah. And as you'll be able to see here, I mean, this is basically one, at most 2 of
Each one.
each one of those, and this can fill easily one room, which with overflow into you can't even walk in the hallway anymore.
Right.
Like, this is not practical, but that's the fun of your deck. You do whatever you want in your stronghold.
I mean,
And then we'll talk about the specifics. So there's 3 sets of things that we're doing on the character modernization front in 7.7. We're making some continued updates to definition changes. These are some things we've kind of talked about a little bit in the past. But we're going to give you some specifics. We have improvements coming to the chest textures as well. And then something I don't remember if we had. I feel like nostalgia tells me that I've talked about this on a live stream before. We have? Great. We have talked about this before. Thank you,
good.
Jackie.
Then we can talk about it today.
Great. Otherwise, we would have been in so much trouble because it's
would
already
have
on the
to
slide.
leave
I don't even know what we do. We're live. We're going to talk about updates to the preview window and some parity we're bringing to game lighting. So let's hit those one by one. Definition changes. What are we doing about definition changes in 7.7?
So, in order to adhere to the modernization effort that we have to bring the fidelity level up to other NPCs levels with your player character, but still respect the fact that we want your character that you're used to look the way you prefer it to, we are eliminating a lot of the programmatic smoothing that we had applied to the updated texture sets. And we are bringing that back into artist control to more strategically define where those sharpenings and smoothings are located. We're really happy with where this is now, and we hope that you will be too. This will be an ongoing effort. We are likely never be done with these kinds of things, but we still want to bring the characters into the modern era, respective of people's opinions and preferences as to what the way they should look.
Yeah, yeah. Because again, this, and we talked about this, I think, kind of after our first wave of this, is kind of where we had leaned in the first place was a very programmatic stroke of this, right? So it's like, it has to be, it's one or all, right? And now we're kind of pulling back from that, so artists can kind of have a more direct touch on where is it wrinkly, where is it not wrinkly.
Right,
These are my
right.
very technical terms that I'm using as an artist.
That's very technical. You're right on.
Yeah,
Right
exactly.
on.
Yep. Next up, just texture improvement. So, and again, just this is my context, so correct me if I say something that's incorrect, but when we made the original set of updates to species on modernization, in a way, Chiss almost wasn't on our list directly, but there was some knock-on effects with Chiss because we had kind of updated humans with Chiss in a way used, right? And so this is kind of us going back and touching up Chiss, kind of some of those effects.
Not to get too far into the details, but certain texture assets were shared across the two species, and affecting one affected the other. So we've separated that out a bit, and we've gone through and spent a lot of time trying to iron out a lot of discrepancies and inconsistencies with those texture sets and those game model assets.
Yep. Yeah. So here's some of the cleanup we've done with Chiss. I'm very excited for this as someone who my personal main has been a Chiss since day one. So that's great. Excited for Chiss.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Love it. Last one. I know this is one you're very personally excited about, and not that you're not excited about all of this, but
Some of it.
Parity between the preview window and the video game people play.
Right.
The live world outside of it. What does that mean, and why is that important?
The reason it was a problem before, the virtual stages we use for the preview window and the targeting window and the character modernization, customization screens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of terms
Yeah, so
there.
appearance designer, your character portrait, and the live game do not all look different than what the preview window does.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those did not have embedded reflections or correct specular lighting conditions. So when you would preview something that was very heavily dependent on reflections or specular, it wouldn't render properly compared to when you equip it. So that's a big problem if we are trying to add value to things that have heavy reflections. You just weren't able to see what those would look like on your character until you had applied them or equipped them. So we're trying to raise the level of consistency between the preview window stages and the actual game so that it's a better representation of what you're about to equip or purchase.
Right. Yeah. So, and especially this is important for, to your point, armor sets that have reflective components.
Correct.
Dies, either dies equipped on reflective pieces or specular dies, right? In those components, it's especially where it's the most important, because what we don't want you to do is preview something in the preview window, which is the only place you'd be able to see it, hence the preview window.
That's why it's for previewing.
It's true. And then you equip it and go, it's not exactly what it looked like outside of it. Yep.
We wanted to not be misleading in what you see is what you get kind of situation.
And then we called it out on the first slide. We don't actually have a slide dedicated to it, but the other thing we've talked about is kind of parity across the game. And so the art and engineering teams have also done a lot of work on bringing graphical parity between NPCs, your player character, and other player characters as well. And that's coming in 7.7 as well.
Right.
So.
The three components of that are your player character that you yourself view, other player characters, and NPCs, and those were all rendered slightly different due to performance reasons that we have to have in our game. But the engineering team and the art team have really been spending a lot of work bringing those consistency levels up so that the entire visual experience is more consistent and there's not a big jarring difference between someone with the exact same settings over here and you on screen.
Right. Yep.
Did you mention something about the character portrait too?
Yeah. Yeah. That's in part of the preview window changes that Okay. And so what's the timeline for these? So all the stuff we just talked about, all of it will be available on PTS, which again, we'll talk PTS timing on the last slide, but it's very soon. So you'll be able to see all of that. Let us know what you think. Let us know of any bugs that you see or any feedback that you still have. Because again, all this is just going to continue to be an ongoing process.
Right.
Yep. We're continuing to work on modernization. As we've talked about since the very beginning of this, the thing that's important for us, I think, is that we want to make sure that we lock this down, get to a place that we feel comfortable with it, we feel like you're comfortable with it, before we move on to additional species, because we are going to be working on additional species.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't know which one next.
I mean, we do know which one.
we know. We're not. I'm not going to tell. I'm not even going to tell it.
Yeah.
I can tell him.
Keith says he knows.
Yeah. We just don't let him near microphone.
Right.
So that's that. So let's recap. It's a meaty stream. I don't know what our timestamp is at.
You don't have a watch.
I don't.
24.
What?
124.
Oh, 124. Well, that's more than an hour. So you should have gotten your drum and Cost reward by now.
Yeah.
Let's recap Game Update 7.7 Dynamic Worlds. Galactic Threads, Masters Enigma Story Update. So that's, once again, as soon as we have those pieces, we will come back to you and let you know exactly what timelines we have and when. We have the Ares window that's coming, along with mission log updates that are coming alongside of it. Master Mode XR53, along with new augments. Again, look for details on all that stuff, all coming there. PvP Season 8, Nar Shaddaa Nightlife is coming back. New dynamic encounters are coming across 7 planets, hence it wasn't actually consistent with 7.7, but I guess it worked out nicely that we
9?
did.
It's more.
It's now a total of 9, yeah. Tons of quality of life updates. Sorry, I've been talking for an hour and a half across the whole game. We have new cartel market items.
That's right.
Very excited about a lot of that stuff. And then the character modernization updates that we just talked about as well. So just so much exciting stuff.
Listen, do you smell that?
I don't think you listen with your nose.
That is the smell of one more thing.
Did I miss something on another stream?
I think you did because there's a gap down there.
Oh, there is a spot missing at the bottom. Did we actually leave a spot for the bunny? That'd be funny if we did that.
It's a PowerPoint. I don't run.
That'd be cute. What kind of thing would we be missing?
How about we look at the next slide?
I guess so. So we've heard that players like to customize their characters.
I think it happens.
So, and so the thing that we took a look at is what if I think greatly would be a fair adjective here, expanded the color customization skin tone options that players had across alien species.
I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
There were a few before, could say it that way, and now there are a great many
There are a great many. So effectively, you can look at this video, and I'll talk over this video
with words.
Of words. For I think it's 6 or 7 alien species. You'll see on the next slide.
Right.
We have added a great many skin color options, many of which are highly requested, like purple TWI'LEK, which you just saw us click past.
Some of them are great.
Some of them are great.
A great many.
A great many.
It's also 7.
That's also 7.
There's also 7.
Not 7 options. 7 species.
Jesus Christ, there was 7. How did we get so many 7s in this update? I wish that I could say we planned that. We didn't. These 7 species have received many customizations, and the caveat that I will call out, and this is not a bad caveat, basically, as long as you own access to this species,
Right.
You have access to all of the skin colors that have been added, period. So once 7.7's out, feel free to just go make a blue Cathar or a purple TWI'LEK or
enjoy all the
PTS. When can I check these things out? So our plan for PTS is that PTS will be live either today or tomorrow, as far as we can tell, barring any hiccups. It should be live very soon. The only things that will not be live on PTS are the things that are normally not on PTS, so you won't be able to see any of the story, any of the seasonal content, or the cartel market items, if you're able to purchase them or anything.
Right.
So otherwise, everything else that we talked about today, all of it will be live on PTS, so you'll be able to check it out. Please do so. Please give us your feedback as per usual. Last question you'll always ask, when's 7.7 coming out? Not far from now. We're targeting end of May or early June. Our plan is once we go to PTS, it'll probably be a pretty fast PTS cycle. We're really close. So we'll go to PTS, we'll check it out, make sure everything looks pretty buttoned up, and then we'll probably be able to come back to you pretty quickly with a launch date. So, and everybody on the SWTOR team who is working on building this massive beast, who might be at their desks watching us
We
or
really
not and
appreciate
working on
it.
it. Yeah, couldn't happen without them. Thank you all. Have a good one.